Process for feasibility for a city lot.
So we're going, okay, how do I do a feasibility for a city lot? Where is my sewer? Where is my access? Where's my water? Where's my power? And is my access going to limit my number of units? So the width of the access determines the number of units. So that's one thing that's different when we're talking. That's a key factor. So if it's coming down a private road and that private road is only 30 feet wide, you're probably only going to get 6 units there, okay? Unless there's some type of a variance inside the code. You need to check with the local municipalities, but just use it as a rule of thumb. 30 feet, 4 to 6 units. 60 feet, on like Donkey Kong, that's public right away, let's rock and roll. Now, there's the other thing to know. You'll see something, and I'm going to give you an example of a development we're looking at right now here in Marysville. The development says 82nd Place Northeast, and the subject property touches it. And looking at it, it's a 60-foot wide road. It's got a cul-de-sac. It doesn't have curb, gutter, and sidewalk, but my mind just ignored that fact. Talked to the city of Marysville, and the city of Marysville says that's a private road. Oh, we have no access coming in from the west to that particular property because of that. So you need to confirm in your access, is that a public road or a private road that's actually granting access? And if it's a private road, then you go into the easement, and you would do this in a rural one too, and see if you have the right to subdivide it inside the easement or if they have cut you out in the future. An example of the language is it would say, no further subdivision of this property shall be permitted without the consent of all owners. Well, if there's 5 owners, you gotta get 5 people to agree. How do you get 5 people to agree to that? Yeah, you gotta give them money.
Be prepared to
pony up dollars.
Yeah.
That access becomes a big deal. The other thing that become a big deal with the utilities is the location of the utilities. So in my mind, what happens is I look down the street and I go, oh, sewer's right there. Sewer is very, very, very expensive to run. Sewer is going to be anywhere between $50 a foot to $500 a foot, depending on the size of the main and the depth of the sewer in the ground. Water's also expensive, not as expensive as the sewer. Easy way to just kind of visually detect where the sewer's at. There's a manhole right in the middle of the street. It says sewer. So generally speaking, there's a manhole right there. You know, hey, I've got sewer close to me. But if the closest manhole is 200 feet to the east, immediately in your head, you need to assume you're going to have to do a sewer line extension, and you're paying for that. What the general public does not understand about developers, we build your roads, your utilities, all of it. The government does it. We build them for them, and then we give them to the government. So as a developer, you will get the great pleasure of building roads, sidewalks, parks, extending all the utilities, and then saying, here, okay, municipality, have this back after we paid for it.